calling this series a Pro Series for a long time. It stood for Proto, but we would just call it Pro. The term prototype gets thrown around kind of loosely sometimes, and so we really wanted to make it a platform that we could try different stuff on, experiment with different things, put features on that we get requests for master build instruments so that people had a real good feel of how things work together, or different neck shapes, different finishes, electronics, parts, all that stuff. So it just gives us a platform to kind of play around with. The RSD high mass bridge comes from our RSD department, which is headed by Scott Buell. I refer to Scott Buell as an Uber builder because he's really kind of an interesting guy. He approaches things differently. Instead of the traditional way, he'll kind of look at things and go, well, what if we did this? He's made some really interesting instruments out of the Fender Custom Shop, and so we wanted to give him kind of an area that he could kind of experiment with. So Scott came up with this design, and when he came up with the design, we started doing it and fabricating it in different materials like stainless and regular steel, and then I think he made one out of aluminum. And we tried different ones, and we always kept coming back to the brass. The brass was a really great sounding bridge. The design of this bridge is really kind of cool because he's got this nice contouring on the side. The top of it's contoured really neat. But I think the most significant thing about this bass bridge is there's two ways to use it. There's a string through bridge design or a strings through body. You can do it either way, or you can do combinations of it. So you can have the E and the A go through the bridge, and the G and the D go through the body, or every other string, or whatever you want. It allows the player to kind of experiment because they do sound different. It allows them to find something that works for them. The inspiration behind this bass is kind of cool because we were doing the Cabronita family series guitars out of the Custom Shop. When we started doing the basses, we did a bass called a Parazzo. We wanted the Parazzo to sound differently than a regular P bass or a jazz bass. We wanted it, again, to give the player a different voice. We took a TV Jones, what was called a Thunderblade pickup, which is like a Filtertron design. The top part extends out a little bit longer so that you can really kind of get the string coverage and all that stuff. So what we did on the Parazzo bass is that we took a P bass and we routed this whole section out, and then we kind of marked on the bass where a 51 P bass pickup would go, where a traditional P bass split coil pickup would go, and then where jazz bass pickup would go. And we marked all that out and kind of saw where it was at. That gave us a reference point. And then we plugged the bass in, and we took the pickup and we just started moving it around and finding, you know, an area that sounded really, really cool. And this is where we ended up at. We really liked the way that the bass sounded here. There's a growl that happens in that area. It's a little bit farther back than regular P bass, so it gives you a little bit more of a growl to it, but it doesn't give you that real high-end plinkety sound back that you get back here with the back pickup on a jazz bass. And we just wanted to have a one pickup bass to do it with. So that's why we came up with that placement there. The tonality of the TV Jones Thunderblade pickup is really kind of interesting. It's a powerful pickup, but when we put it in this position here, you get this real punch out of the bass that you don't get in a lot of other basses. We like the 51 P bass pickup, or this is more like a 55 with the rounded corners, contour. The neck is really kind of cool too because it's like a P bass neck. It's a little bit thinner here. It has a satin finish to it. So it's a real fun bass to play. It gives you a different voice if you're a bass player, and it sounds different. We took this bass to a bass event where we had a bunch of different basses set up, and this one got a lot of playing time. People were like, well, what's that? And they'd pick it up and play it, and when you plug it into an amplifier, you're in a different realm. It's not P bass, jazz bass world. It's different. It doesn't sound like any other bass. And that's kind of cool. I think that a lot of guys will go through and they look for different voices. Producers will look for different, you know, tones and things like that. So this gives the player something else. The wiring feature on this instrument is pretty simple. It's just a volume and a tone. We wanted to keep it nice and simple. With this pickup, you don't need a lot of switching and things like that. You know, we wanted to keep something really, really straight ahead. Volume, tone, side jack. It's a real, you know, straight ahead bass.